A common question that I get asked is, does porn use warp and change my sexuality over time? The short answer is yes, and in this video, I'm gonna explain to you exactly how porn warps, twists, changes your sexuality over time until essentially pornography is the only viable intimate relationship that you have in your life. And really quick before I dive in, if you guys want free coaching from me and free course material that I've developed, go down to my bio below and join my free school community. So how does porn warp and change our sexuality over time? Well, to explain this, I want to start in a somewhat different place. For those of you who have had some kind of intense romantic relationship in your life, or if you've simply just seen enough rom-com movies, you will know that attraction between two people is generally amplified when there is a gap, space, or an obstacle between them. As relationship therapist Esther Perel puts it, eros, which is the sexual, passionate form of love, requires a gap in order to exist, and it exists in proportion to the size of that gap. This is why elements of "we shouldn't be doing this" or naughtiness can massively increase sexual attraction in real relationships. This phenomenon is what creates an enormous breadth of taboo sexual fantasies, such as having sex in a public place where you can be caught. Now, in healthy relationships, this dynamic can create profoundly deep attraction, eroticism, and passion that enables a couple to overcome obstacles together again and again successfully over the years or a lifetime, and can help create a spiritual depth to a relationship that many of us long for deeply. In unhealthy relationships, however, such as in sex or love addiction, the obstacles or gaps that are creating the erotic rush turn addictive, and the sexual behaviors that follow are driven by lust rather than love or healthy passion. These behaviors also tend to violate moral or personal boundaries, gradually leading and guiding us towards abusing ourselves and others. And worse, with pornography, eros doesn't even have another partner to engage with. We can't connect and experience any kind of healthy eroticism with another person because we're by ourselves. We're not in a state of "we shouldn't be doing this." We get caught in a state of "I shouldn't be doing this." Me alone shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be watching other people do this thing. I shouldn't do this to myself. I can't believe I'm watching this. Can you start to feel the kind of spiritual ick internally from this already? This drives what I once heard called the law of FAP entropy, or as I like to call it, the second law of pornodynamics, which is simply another way to describe the phenomenon of tolerance. As we watch more and more porn, generally speaking, the kinds of pornography we will watch will only get more extreme over time. For those of us with a porn addiction, this boundary of what defines taboo and gives us a rush from watching it keeps moving farther and farther out until the kinds of pornography that we're watching are shameful, and we're in a territory that is sexually unrecognizable. We may eventually find ourselves watching content that is extreme, disgusting, abusive and humiliating, violent, misaligned with our natural sexual orientation, or bordering on illegal. Tolerance is a one-way ratchet. Things only tend to get worse over time. And this one-way ratchet, by the way, is what creates people who watch illegal pornography. I know several people in recovery who have had legal consequences because of their porn addiction, and every single one of them, without fail, started out as a normal person. But then they started following the one-way ratchet of tolerance and addiction around and around until they had explored all of the legal territory of pornography, and the only place left to go in order to chase the boundary, in order to find the next taboo thing to elevate their high, was across legal borders into illegal content. While this certainly isn't the end of the road for everybody who has an addiction, I would seriously encourage you to consider that out of 1,000 people watching this video who may suffer from some form of addiction, some small percentage of you either already are or are on a track to become this kind of person. This phenomenon of tolerance is also made worse by the implementation of artificial intelligence algorithms on every porn site that you visit. You may have heard me talk about this before, but every single one of these porn websites operates like Instagram or Facebook or another social media website. They have a psychological profile of you, which is trying constantly to maximize your time on site in order to amplify how much ad revenue they get from exposing you to ad after ad after ad. These algorithms over time learn that they can present you with more and more extreme content over time in order to trigger this taboo phenomenon and keep your eyes glued to their screens for longer and longer. I would encourage you to meditate on this fact deeply. There is a $100 billion industry which is trying to warp and twist your sexuality using artificial intelligence algorithms until your only viable intimate relationship is their services. I next want you to take a moment and just consider your history with porn. What kind of porn did you start looking at initially? What kind of content are you looking at now? If you draw a line between these two things and project it out into the future, can you honestly say that that's a direction that you want to go? Are you okay with taking even one more step in that direction? Or are you ready to reclaim your sexuality? Are you ready to break the one-way ratchet that is taking you in a direction you do not want to go? Are you ready to extract yourself from an exploitative and evil industry which is warping and twisting your sexuality for ad revenue? Are you ready to reclaim your mind, relationships, and life from an industry that is capitalizing on your loneliness, your sexual dysfunction, and your relational dysfunction? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I'm really excited, as I mentioned in the beginning, to announce that I launched a free school community that has a Recovery Foundations course inside of it. If you're looking for help quitting, please head to the link down in my bio and join all of us there. This group is free, and its purpose is to give you all of the information that I wish that I had, that would have helped me stay stopped, and avoid another decade of suffering addiction, loneliness, mental health problems, relationship issues, and all the rest. If you're looking for a sign, this is it. Go join in the link down below. The course that I put in there, I used to charge people $500 to do with me over a 2-week period as a mini mentorship. There is so much value in there that you guys get access to for free. And my goal with this school community is for it to become the most engaged porn addiction recovery community in existence that is offering more free value than you could get if you paid. I'll see you there. Peace.